That is a problem. Hey, how you doing? Duff here. Time for another Duff 3D video. Sorry you haven't seen much lately. I've still been 3D printing, but I've been primarily just printing parts for my 3D electric unicycle stands. So I haven't done a lot of interesting projects lately, but I have been busy. But I have had an issue with my Jgaurora A5, and printing these stand parts really made it apparent because they take up a good portion of the print surface, of the print bed area. And what was happening, as you saw in the clip in the beginning of the video, this back corner is bent. Like if you look at the print surface, looking down the side of the print surface, you can actually see it bend in the aluminum plate, and as a result the glass is kind of lifting off that back corner, and as a result I can't level the bed correctly. Even if I have that screw like on its last thread in the back, I can't get that back corner as tight to the print head as I'd like. So it's a problem. So I had to lay out the bucks for another bed. This just arrived today from Amazon. I bought it from the Jgaurora store on Amazon, and it's not cheap. This was, I believe, $55 for the bigger bed, the 310 millimeter square or something like that. So it was not cheap, but hopefully it will fix my problem. I'll have a link to this in the description below. Alright, so obviously to replace this, first thing you got to do is back all of these thumb screws out so you can get the bed off. We're going to work on that. Maybe. See, that was like one thread on there. That's how much I had that out, trying to get it level compared to the other ones. Maybe the other thumb screws I had to turn like 10 turns, and that back corner I had to turn like a half a turn. All right, so those are all out. Now I did a while back. I did print those little guiding cups for the springs, so I do have those on there still. I need to release the heat bed connector, and that looks like that has some silicone on it, so I need to cut that. Alright, here we go. Okay, I didn't even have to cut that actually. The glue is up here, the part that attaches to the bed. Alright, so now that that's off, this whole thing should lift off relatively easy. Alright, there you go. Old bed. And you can kind of, I don't know how well that'll show up on camera, but you can see the warp in the aluminum base there. And see, another part of the problem might be that this screw is loose. That can't be good. And to be honest with you, this might actually go back to when I installed this thing. I don't know if you remember when I was, I think I was looking in the inside when I was having some strange issues, and I had it tipped on its side, and I think, if I remember correctly, the bed kind of popped out and landed on in a weird way, so I think any damage is probably due to me, more than likely. Although you do hear a lot about people getting their A5s with bent beds. So, alright, so let's see what we got here. My major question is how I'm going to move the those posts from one bed to the other. That's my question. I don't know if a replacement comes with new posts in here that you have to install, or I don't know. We're venturing into the world of the unknown. Okay, these replacement beds are very well wrapped, extremely well wrapped. Alright, so you have your glass, and it is not attached to the plate, so I guess that's my answer. I need to separate the old plate and be very careful not to bend this. I need to separate this to get these screws out. And since it's already coming apart on the one end, maybe that won't be so hard. Probably going to need to use a heat gun then. Okay, so I have my heat gun, and I'm just going to try to heat this up, see if it makes the adhesive a little more pliable. Definitely be way easier if they included replacement screws with this. Yeah, because this is a pain. And of course, you got to be careful because you don't want to damage these offsets as you're doing this. Come on, this sucks. Alright, I just reevaluated this, and I don't really have to take the whole glass base off, even though I am about halfway done. But if I just get the corners lifted, I believe I have enough room to pop these bolts out. So that is my new plan. I got one out so far. Just be very careful to not lose the lock washer. There we go. Yeah, so I think that's the way to go. Just heat up the corners and just pry it away, and then you should have enough room to get the bolts out. Alright, I've gotten it off, and I've thoroughly bent this aluminum plate, which I have no plans on reusing. I might try to actually separate the ultra base from the aluminum, because the ultra base should still be fine, and it could probably be reused on another printer if I wanted to. You know, well, yes, it could probably be reused. I have to just get the adhesive off the bottom, so I'm going to just see if I can quickly get this separated completely, and then we'll move on to installing the new base plate. Okay, so after burning myself a few times trying to touch the hot metal, the technique I used to get this off was holding the old aluminum base with a vice grips, and then just hitting the adhesive side with a heat gun and just pried it off. And yeah, it's a little bendy now, but it's off. So, but my thought is I could actually use this as a print surface, you know, on the CR10 or whatever. Yeah, at least I got this. Okay, so now what I need to do is zoom out. I need to install all of these screws into the aluminum base. And the way that they go is the head of it is on the shiny side of the base, and then you have a lock washer. They're very small, so don't drop them into the carpet. Lock washer and a nut. So I'm going to just tighten these up. I'm going to get it hand tight, and then I'm going to use, I don't know, either a wrench or the pliers just to get these as tight as possible so they don't slide around at all. I'll be back. Bolt, lock washer, nut, rinse and repeat. And as you're doing this, you want to make sure that you're not positioning the base plate in any manner that would put any sort of stress on it that could possibly bend it. So the last thing you want to do is bend your new $55 heat bed. So be very aware of what you're doing. Okay, I have all four bolts reattached. So now I need to attach the glass to this. The back of the glass has peel off adhesive. Hopefully it peels off pretty easily. Let's see. Not too bad. coming off alright. Not all in one piece, but coming off okay. Alright, there we go. So, oh, there's also plastic on this. Which, that has to come off, right? There's no way that would stay on. That would probably melt from the heat. Alright, so make sure you take that off. And now, you got one shot to get this lined up perfectly. So, here we go. Alright. Not bad. It's going to be off a little bit, but not bad. I think it'll work. Alright, so at this point, I need to get it back on the printer. So we need to reverse what I did before. So I'm putting my springs with centering caps. These centering caps are something that a lot of A5 owners use. It just kind of keeps the spring even and in place, and so it doesn't like kind of bend over itself. Putting those back on. And now I need to carefully get it back on the printer. Without bending it, of course. So let me just drop that. I dropped. Something dropped. Okay, I'm just trying to get the bolts through just to get them started, just to get a couple threads on the nut. Ouch! What the heck? Oh my god. I just touched the end of the heat gun. It's been sitting off for probably 5 minutes, but that end is still boiling hot. I just burned my ankle. Ouch. Alright. Got that corner on that was bent. That's good. Just one more. And of course I need to remember to hook up the heat bed cable. Well, there's enough. It would have been smarter to do prior to putting the screws back in. I think I can still get it. It definitely would have been easier to do prior to reattaching the bed. Come on, come on, come on, you can do it. You can do it. I may have to give up. Okay, I just popped these two nuts off so I can get a little bit more room to work. Now I should be able to reattach the heat bed connector. There we go. Okay. Alright. Just going to reattach these thumb screws. And that was the corner that was low before from the bend. Now you can see that the glass is flush with the base, which is what you want. So, looking good. Okay, so now we need to level the new bed, obviously. I'll let you know how this turns out. Overall, I still like the A5, but it really is ridiculous trying to level this thing. These knobs are, I don't think that it would be possible to put them in a more inconvenient position to do leveling. I mean, it's just crazy. I'm getting there, slowly. Yeah, out of my 5 printers, the A5 is definitely the biggest pain in the ass to level, in my opinion. So I think I have it pretty good now, so we're going to do a print and see how it looks. While the A5 is warming up with the Anycubic i3 Mega, just grinding away. That thing is, it's a workhorse, man. I have this thing printing all the time, and I never have to do anything to it. It just works, man. I love that thing. I just wish the print surface was, a 300 millimeter surface instead of a 200. But other than that, man, it's just been a fantastic printer. I've had no problem with it, really, whatsoever. It's great. Okay, it's hard to tell because I got black filament on a black ultra base surface, but I've started a print, and it looks like it's working pretty well. I'm not seeing the problems with adhesion in the back left corner like I had before. Obviously I need to let this run for a little bit more just to make sure. I might have to do a little bit more tweaking with the leveling, which is always fun. But yeah, this seems like it is working. The bed is now flat, and I would call this surgery a success. Alright, so that completes another Duff 3D project. If you found this video helpful, interesting, entertaining, please give it a big thumbs up. If this is your first time visiting the channel, please consider subscribing. And feel free to leave your comments below, suggestions, ideas, feedback. I welcome it all. Look forward to hearing your ideas. I know other people have had to do this job, and I would say it's not a difficult thing. I mean, the most annoying thing is getting those old screws off or bolts out. It would be a lot more convenient if they included a new set of bolts with a replacement bed, but they don't, so that's what you got to do. But that's all I got for you for now. Until next time, Gotway out. What's up? What's going on?